Hello everyone, and welcome to St. Lucie Public Schools Motivation Station. And my name is Jane Whitaker, and I'm going to get to spend a little bit of time with you for the next few minutes sharing music and movement, which is my favorite thing ever. So today we're going to talk about identifying and describing musical form of a piece of music. We're going to identify information about a composer and one of their musical works, one of my favorite composers ever, and respond to a musical work in a variety of ways to reflect the changes within a piece. So what we're going to do is listen to a piece of music and then add some movement to it to really describe that we understand what's happening within the piece. And then some of our music vocabulary, we're going to talk about composer, musical form, ABA, AA, BA, the Pact, the coda, and what an interlude is. So let's get started. So one of my favorite composers ever, his name was Peter Tchaikovsky. And when I used to teach this in the music room, I would always have my students say Tchaikovsky because he was from the country of Russia. And if you look at where he lives in comparison to where we are here in Florida, Florida's right here. Peter Tchaikovsky was born all the way on the other side of the world. So he became a very, very famous composer. And he was born in 1840 and died in 1893. So can we do math in music? Absolutely. So let's figure out how old he was when he passed away. So if we subtract 3 minus 0, we're going to get 3. So remember that 3 over there. 9 minus 4 is 5. So that gives us 53 years old when he passed away. But he made an amazing impact on the world of music. Tchaikovsky's Pact was actually a dance that was within the musical ballet that featured this particular Russian dance. And many of you would probably know when I say the Nutcracker Ballet, most of us recognize that because that is shown often during the holiday season. So this particular piece will sound familiar, I think, once you get a chance to hear it. So we're going to walk through the musical map. That's what we call it. So the musical map actually shows us how the song is put together, and we call that musical form. And musical form just is how a song is put together. And truly, any song that you sing or play or listen to, every song that is ever written has a form of how it's put together. And usually like a song on the radio, you might hear the verse, chorus, a little bit of a bridge to break it up a little bit, and then back to the final chorus. So when you listen to songs on the radio later today, pay attention to what the music's actually doing and how it's changing. And then you get to figure out what the musical form is. So we're going to listen to the musical map. And if you notice, I have an A, another A, a B, the interlude, another A, and then finally the coda. And if you'll notice, do you notice that this A is a little different from this A? The music actually isn't any different, but what happens on these two particular A's is that the volume gets a little bit more intense, and it changes the impact of what the story is really trying to tell. So we're going to change what we do as far as our movement to show that change in the music as well. So I'm going to walk you through the music here and follow the map as we go. So we always begin with A, no matter what the song is. So this is the first section of A. Now you may not notice it on the TV, but this next part gets louder. A little bit more intense. Still the same music. Now we go to B. Do you hear the difference in the music? Great. Now there's a little bit of an interlude to break it up. Here's our interlude. Now we're going to go back to what we heard at the very beginning, back to A. Here we go. Do you recognize it? Still on A. Now we're going to the coda. Here we go, the very end. And it gets faster. And done. So the interlude actually breaks up a little bit of the music just to tell us that it's going to change just a little bit to bring us back to the beginning. Then the coda means complete. That's the end of the song. So now let's have a little bit of fun at bringing this piece of music to life and putting some movement to it. So here we go. It's time to move. Show what you know. So as I was preparing this lesson, I was thinking, usually I teach this lesson with a scarf, which you probably have seen in your music classroom at your schools, but not everybody has a scarf at home. So I thought, oh, well, okay, what could we grab that anybody could use in their house? You could grab a towel, you could grab a kitchen towel, a little hand towel, or like I did, I just grabbed a t-shirt. So we're going to use a t-shirt to show the changes in the music. So here we go. So when we first begin at the very beginning of the song, we're going to show letter A with a snap and a turn. So when it begins, we're going to go snap, and then we're going to bounce it a little bit and bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, stop. We're going to do it 2 times. So do it with me this time. Here we go. Ready? Snap, and bounce and turn, bounce and turn, bounce and turn, and stop. Okay? Now, we said that the next day is a little bit different. This one is a lot louder. Again, I mentioned you may not get to hear the difference on the TV, but on this end, we can hear the difference. So this time, we're going to do the same exact movement, but when we snap, we're going to jump. And we're going to add that little extra oomph to it just to show in the music that it's a little bit different. So do it with me. So here we go. We're going to snap and jump. So you're going to go snap, and bounce and turn, bounce and turn, bounce and turn, and stop. And we'll do it 2 times each time. Let's try it with me one more time. Here we go. Ready? And jump, and bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, stop. Okay? So we've got our 2 first letter A's. On letter B, we know we have to do something different because the music is different. So we're going to wash the floor. Hopefully you're helping your mom with that while you're home. Wash the floor and wash the windows. Okay? So, and you'll do that 2 times each. So do it with me. Here we go. Wash the floor and wash the windows. Okay? And I'll guide you through that. Then the interlude is pretty quick. It's a little challenging, so you'll have to be pretty quick with me. So what we're going to do is, I'm used to doing it on my right, but I'm going to try to do it on my left because that's actually your right on that end. So let's try it together. So you're just going to bounce it to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, left, right, left. Then all of a sudden, we've got to pop right back to A again. Then we're going to jump, and bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, stop. Now, the coda kind of brings all of those ideas together. So really quickly, we're going to have to move trying to get all of those movements in together. So we're going to wash the floor, wash the window, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, bounce it, turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn. And then at the very last note, we're going to see how clever you are and see if you can throw it up and catch it on your head. I didn't do so good on that one. But hopefully by the time that we run through this together, you'll get a chance to catch it on your head. Let's try it. Here we go. And snap. Now turn. Snap it again. Remember, there's no jump here yet. Now turn. Now you're going to jump this time. Good. Now turn again. Turn. Jump again. And jump. And turn. Okay, now we're going to wash the floor. Here we go. Wash. Now wash the windows. We love that. Wash the floor again. Wash the windows. Okay, to the side. Here we go. Bounce it. Bounce it. Now really quick. Bounce. 2. 1, 2. Now jump again. And jump. Now turn. Bounce it. Do it again. Here we go. And jump. and turn. Now we got to put them all together on the coda. Watch the floor. Windows. Bounce. 2. Now bounce and turn. And throw it up. I did it. There we go. Hopefully you got a chance to experience and catch that on your head, and you had a little bit of fun learning about a classical piece of music and putting some music and how it actually comes together. So let's go back and check it out. Were we able to identify and describe the musical form of the piece? Remember that we said it was A, B, A. Exactly. Did we find out a little bit of information about our composer? Do you remember what his name was? That's right. It was Peter Tchaikovsky. And where was he from? You got it. He was from Russia. Very long way away from where we are today. And did we respond to the music in a variety of ways? And actually, we showed all the changes in the music with my shirt or your towel, whatever it was that you were using. We were able to express what the music was doing with movement. And then finally, we know that a composer is someone who writes music. Musical form is how a song is, that's right, put together. Our form of the song was A-A-B-A. The name of the song was Pact, which was a Russian dance. And then we learned that coda is the very end of a song, bringing it all together, and interlude is that little piece that shows some change within the music. I hope you had fun learning about the Pact and learning about Tchaikovsky and what musical form can show us and how a musical piece is put together. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.